Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS. Let's get to the news now, folks. What a roller coaster this offseason has been for the Atlanta Falcons. It's one of those seasons that fans are going to remember for a long, long time, not just because of the on-field performances, but because of the intriguing stories off the field that have set the stage for what could be a historic year ahead. And you know, when we talk about the Falcons lately, one name keeps popping up in conversations around the NFL community: Kirk Cousins. Yes, you heard that right. Kirk Cousins, the veteran quarterback who was featured in Netflix's quarterback series, and who, until recent events, was firmly associated with the Minnesota Vikings, is now making headlines as a member of the Atlanta Falcons. It's a plot twist that nobody saw coming, especially not after last offseason, when the NFL world was watching every move the Falcons made in the draft and free agency. Let's rewind a bit to understand the magnitude of what's happening. The Falcons, in a shocking move, decided to draft Michael Penix Jr., a talented quarterback from the University of Washington, with the 8th overall pick in the draft. Now, for those of you who follow the NFL closely, you realize how unusual that is. The Falcons already had Kirk Cousins signed to a hefty contract, $100 million guaranteed, no less. That's a huge investment in a veteran quarterback, someone who was supposed to be the cornerstone of their offense for years to come. And yet, just a few weeks after sealing that deal, Atlanta pulls a rabbit out of the hat and drafts Penix, a young, talented quarterback with a lot of potential but still unproven in the league. This move sent shockwaves through the NFL. Imagine the scene. A team invests so heavily in a veteran, and then suddenly they're drafting a rookie quarterback so high. What was the message here? Naturally, Kirk Cousins found himself in a position where he had to reflect on his future, and it's clear from his own words in the Netflix series that he was caught off guard by the Falcons' decision. During Quarterback Season 2, Kirk openly admits that if he had known Atlanta was planning to select a quarterback at such a high pick, it would have definitely influenced his free agency decision. That's a pretty candid admission from a player of his caliber, and it's rare to see such honesty on a platform like that. Kirk mentions that, certainly, if I had the information around free agency, it certainly would have affected my decision, as he told ESPN's Mark Raimondi. Think about that for a second. Here's a player who, just a few months prior, was holding a massive contract in Minnesota, feeling secure and valued. But those plans changed when Atlanta, a team that had been quietly building a competitive roster, made a bold move in the draft. Kirk says that he had no reason to leave Minnesota, especially since he and his family loved it there, but the Falcons' draft strategy, drafting a quarterback so high, made him reconsider whether he was truly wanted or if the team was shifting gears in a direction that he wasn't part of. But here's the thing, Kirk Cousins, despite the feelings of surprise and perhaps disappointment, understands the league's nature. He's been around long enough, 12 seasons in total, to know that nothing is guaranteed in the NFL. He's quick to point out that in this league, you're not entitled to anything, no matter how big your contract is or what you've accomplished. What matters most is proving yourself every single day, earning your spot, and showing your value on the field. That's what separates the good from the great, and Kirk, in his own words, has always embraced that challenge. Now, the Atlanta Falcons, on the other hand, had a different vision. They had invested heavily in Kirk Cousins, believing he could be the franchise quarterback to lead them back to the postseason. The goal was clear: return to the playoffs after a long drought that stretched over 7 years, since 2017, when Matt Ryan was still leading the team. But with the draft pick and the signing of Penix, the Falcons signaled a different direction. They wanted to develop a young quarterback, someone with upside, someone they could mold for the future. It's a classic case of team-building strategy. Sometimes you go all in with a veteran, and sometimes you plan for the future with a rookie. And in this case, Atlanta chose the latter. What does all this mean for the Falcons? Well, it adds a layer of complexity and intrigue to the upcoming season. On paper, Kirk Cousins remains a highly capable quarterback, even if he's currently sitting as the league's most expensive backup behind Michael Penix Jr. It's an unusual situation, no doubt. You have a veteran with years of experience, a guy who's thrown for over 50 yards in his career, yet he's now in a backup role, waiting for his chance, or perhaps just riding out the season until the team makes a decision. For Kirk, this is probably a tough pill to swallow, especially knowing how much he's given to the game and how much he hoped to be a franchise staple in Atlanta. But let's not forget what this means for the Falcons. The team's front office clearly is betting big on Penix's upside. The young quarterback showed flashes of brilliance at Washington, and at just 24 years old, he has plenty of room to grow. The Falcons see potential in him, arm talent, mobility, football IQ, and they're willing to invest time and patience into his development. They've built a strong defense, and with some upgrades on the offensive line and skill positions, they're aiming to become a more balanced, competitive team. This season is crucial, not just for the playoffs, but to set a tone for the future and to show that their bold moves are paying off. Now, for the fans, this story adds a lot of spice to what's already shaping up to be an exciting season. We're looking at a team that's not just trying to improve on last year's record, but is also making bold statements about their direction. The Falcons have been traditionally known for their high-powered offense and talented playmakers like Kyle Pitts and Drake London, but this offseason, they've added depth, experience, and youth to the mix. And with a quarterback like Penix, who can make all the throws and extend plays with his legs, the offense could be a real threat in the NFC South. Speaking of the NFC South, the division has been a bit of a roller coaster in recent years. Atlanta is looking to re-establish itself as a dominant force, and with the Saints, Panthers, and Buccaneers all in various stages of rebuilding or retooling, the Falcons see an opportunity. Last season, they finished with a record that left fans wanting more, losing close games, struggling with inconsistency at the quarterback position, and missing out on the postseason once again. But this year, everything feels different. There's a sense of renewed energy, a belief that the team might finally turn the corner and make a real push. And don't forget, the NFC South is a division where the landscape can change quickly. With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still trying to find their footing after Tom Brady's retirement, and the Saints and Panthers rebuilding with new quarterbacks and new schemes, the Falcons have a chance to capitalize. They've been building a solid roster, investing in key areas like the offensive line, defense, and special teams. And now, with the added mystery of their quarterback situation, the whole division is watching closely. The NFL's narrative this season could very well be about the Falcons, not just because of their on-field performance, but because of the intriguing storylines that tie into their quarterback saga. It's worth mentioning that this season is also about the Falcons' identity. Are they a team that relies on a veteran leader like Kirk Cousins, or are they paving the way for the next generation of talent? That's the question on everyone's mind. The coaching staff has emphasized a balanced approach, developing Penix, giving him the tools to succeed, but also ensuring that Cousins remains a steadying presence if needed. It's a delicate dance, but one that could define the franchise's future for years to come. And of course, the fans are eager to see how it all unfolds on the field. Looking at the bigger picture, Kirk Cousins' story this season is quite fascinating. Here's a guy who's been known for his consistency, his leadership, and his ability to deliver in clutch moments. Over his career, he's thrown for over 50 yards and been a reliable starter for teams like the Vikings and Washington before that. His career highlights include multiple 4-0-yard seasons, game-winning drives, and a reputation as a quarterback who can handle pressure. But now, in Atlanta, he's in a different role, one that perhaps he didn't foresee but still must navigate with professionalism and resilience. The NFL is a league where change is constant, and careers can take unexpected turns. Kirk Cousins' situation is a perfect example of that. While he might be feeling some frustration or disappointment now, he's also proven time and again that he can adapt and perform under pressure. His leadership in the locker room, his work ethic, and his experience are invaluable assets for the Falcons as they aim to contend. And who knows? Maybe this season will be a turning point for him, a chance to showcase that he still has plenty left to give, even if he's not the starter. For the Falcons, this narrative isn't just about one player or one season. It's about a franchise that's been patiently building, learning from its past mistakes, and now aiming to rise back to prominence. The draft decision to pick Penix was bold, and it signals a long-term vision. The coaching staff and front office are betting on youth and talent, and they're trying to strike the right balance between development and winning now. The NFL schedule is brutal, and every game counts, but the message is clear: they're committed to making a serious run in the NFC South and beyond. As we look ahead to the season, all eyes will be on the Falcons' quarterback room. Will Kirk Cousins accept his role as a mentor and backup while waiting for his opportunity? Or will he push for a trade, seeking a fresh start somewhere else? Those are questions that will unfold as training camp approaches and the games get underway. But one thing is for sure, the storylines are rich, and fans of the Falcons are in for an exciting ride. And let's not forget, the NFL is a league of stories, comebacks, underdog runs, unexpected heroics, and this season for Atlanta might just have all of that. The team has the talent, the coaching staff is hungry, and the fans are more passionate than ever. The division is ripe for the taking, and the narrative of a young quarterback learning the ropes while a veteran watches from the sidelines adds a layer of drama that only football can deliver. It's a season of possibilities, and the Falcons are right in the middle of it, trying to carve out their place once again as contenders. So, to all the Falcons fans out there, I say keep your spirits high. This season could be the turning point you've been waiting for. With the right mix of talent, coaching, and a bit of luck, there's no reason Atlanta can't make a deep playoff run. The story of Kirk Cousins and Penix in Atlanta is just beginning, and it's already one of the most fascinating chapters in recent NFL history. The excitement is building, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds on the field. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's get ready for what promises to be an unforgettable season for the Atlanta Falcons. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now wrapping up, it's undeniable that the Falcons' story this season is full of intrigue, potential, and a lot of what-ifs. But one thing remains certain. They are a team that's not afraid to make bold moves, to challenge the status quo, and to redefine themselves. Whether Kirk Cousins finds himself back under center, or whether Penix takes the reins and leads the team into the playoffs, the 2024 season for Atlanta is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory. The division, the league, and the fans are all watching closely, eager to see if this new chapter will be a story of resilience, growth, and ultimate success. So keep your eyes glued to the Falcons this year. It's going to be a wild ride, and you definitely don't want to miss a second of it. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all these developments? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news.